August is over, so it's time to jump into wrapping up the month and taking a look back at all the books that I read and giving you my thoughts on them. I'm Stephanie, the Literary Hype Woman. Thank you so much for joining. Let's dive right in. The first book I read in August was the answer to a prompt in the Hype TBR game. It was Poster Girl by Veronica Roth. And if you remember from that video, I hinted that I was reading it for a specific reason that I could not confirm at that time. Well, the good news is I can now confirm that Veronica Roth will be making an appearance on Literary Hype Woman channel. We got to talk about Poster Girl and her other upcoming book, Arch Conspirator. So exciting, bucket list for sure. So check that video out if you love Veronica Roth. It's a lot of nerdy fun and there might be some costume involved. But as to Poster Girl, I think this is her best book that she's written. It is about a girl who's literally the poster girl for a government, and this book takes place 10 years after that government fell. And she's been in jail since then. All of her family died the night of the government fell, and so she's still taking all of that in and taking that apart and figuring out what she really did go through. And also she gets the opportunity to go do something good to get out of jail. So it's a bit of a dystopian mystery. There's a lot to process here, but I loved it. I think it's her best book yet. 5 stars for Poster Girl. I also read Ali Hazelwood's second full-length novel this month, Love on the Brain. If you like The Love Hypothesis, you'll probably like it. If you didn't like The Love Hypothesis, you might still like it. There is enough different to make them 2 different stories. They're different tropes, but there are some similarities with the science, the big moments happening at academic meetings and hotels. Similar vibes. Even though they were some similar vibes, it did not stop me from really just hating every adult responsibility I had because it interfered with my reading time. Really enjoyed it. 4.5 stars for Ali Hazelwood's Love on the Brain. Well, in August, I joined the Colleen Hoover fandom, at least for this book. I read Verity. I was trying to do a reading vlog on it, but I kind of was really too into the reading part of it and kind of forgot to really do anything with it. It is a very interesting book. It is pretty dark. It's kind of a dark thriller. What else would I say about this? It's about a writer who moves in with another writer who's in a coma and her family to kind of take on the rest of her series and go through her notes and figure out what's next. But there's some interesting twists along in there. Did I see the end coming? Yes I did, from a mile away. Did that stop me from staying up till 1 a.m. reading when there were people in my house that I should have been talking to? No, it did not. I definitely stayed up reading Verity. So 4.5 stars for Verity. While we're talking about thrillers and mysteries, we'll talk about All Good People Here by Ashley Flowers. She is a true crime podcaster, and this is her debut novel. I picked it up not because I knew about her from her podcasting, but because the little blurb on the back mentioned Wakarusa, Indiana, which is a small town near where I grew up and spent part of my childhood, and the age of the girl who goes missing is very close to my age from that point in the 90s. This is a dual perspective book, so it also has some time in 2019 with the neighbor of the missing girl, where she is at that point in time as a journalist. Another eerie similarity to my life. But overall I enjoyed it. It was a little weird for me at points, but the writing was pretty quick and easy to get through, and the mystery was fun. I'm wondering about the ending a little bit, though. That's all I'll say on that. If you have read it, we shall discuss the ending. One of the books I listened to in August is called What If Love Is the Point by Carlos and Alexa Penavega. You might know them more as Carlos Pena from Big Time Rush and Alexa Vega from Spy Kids. Well, they are married, and so this was kind of their memoir of the journeys that they went through with their life until they met each other and how marriage has shaped their lives and kind of the journey that they're on. It is a faith-based book, so they do frequently talk about their faith and the role faith has played in their lives. So if that's something you try to avoid, maybe this isn't the book for you. I did enjoy it. I did it as an audiobook, so I got to hear kind of, they had like the little gushy, giggly moments like you would hear if you were telling a friend a story about your life. So I really enjoyed that and getting to hear their perspective on a whole bunch of different things. So I give it 5 stars. Check it out if you are a fan of either of their work. Now to my least favorite book of the month, Light Lark. I got my store's advanced copy, which I have now handed off to another bookseller, and it was not great. It was not great. I had so much hope for it. There were so many moments that had potential. Like, the plot itself had potential. The execution was just not there. It's as frustrating as it is to say that. The writing was weak. Creativity was weak, especially in naming of things. And the phrasing, there's a lot of really weird phrases that just went, no. So yeah, I did not enjoy it. I really wanted to. I read the whole thing trying to give it the benefit of the doubt. There were some good twists in there, but the writing was just not there. So I'm giving it 2.5 stars. Another advanced copy that I read during August that came from the Hype TBR game was All Things Aside by Eliza Schlesinger. I am a big fan of her comedy. I have loved her since she was on Last Comic Standing. I've seen her in person. She's fantastic. I loved her first book, Girl Logic. All Things Aside just didn't hit for me. It was more of a series of essays, and she wrote it in a very unique way. So instead of like having footnotes, she just wrote it in line with like random stories that fit a thought. So it was kind of like back and forth. But it just kind of felt a little whiny at times. Nothing against her, just wasn't my vibe, wasn't my moment. I still love her. There are still many funny moments in it, so I gave it 3 stars. A book that was not part of the Hype TBR game that I did read is called Killing Comparison by Nona Jones. She is the head of Global Faith Partnerships for Facebook. So she is really in a unique place to talk on this topic. She sees the social media aspect, the faith, and then like the personal stories from her own life of what happens when we compare our lives to others and what we see on social media and just all the things that can just really turn toxic in our lives. Clearly, I enjoyed this a lot. It's like a whole fringe of Post-it tabs. I actually ran out and had to order more. There's so many good quotes. It is a faith-based book. Again, if that's not your jam, totally fine. However, I do think that the information in this book is very relevant because social media is impacting all of us in such a big way that taking a look at how comparing ourselves to others can really mess with our heads and like what we need to do to avoid that. So a lot of good information in here. I really enjoyed it. Recommend 5 stars for Killing Comparison by Nona Jones. The book that fulfilled my forced proximity prompt on the Hype TBR game was A Merry Little Meet Cute by Julie Murphy and Sierra Simone, and OMG did I enjoy it. It's about a plus-size porn star who gets an acting job on a Squeaky Clean Channel's Christmas movie, opposite a boy bander that she's had a crush on for 10 years, and he's a big fan of her porn. So there's already that kind of interest in each other when they find out that they'll be working together on the set of this movie, but they're both, for varying reasons, told to keep it in their pants. It is filthy, it is hilarious, like the horse names. I hope you enjoy the horse names. at least half as much as I did because I was cracking up. I really enjoyed it. It's very diverse, very fun, just, yeah, filthy and hilarious with some sweet moments in there. 5 stars for A Merry Little Meet Cute by Julie Murphy and Sierra Simone. Shout out to Avon and Goodreads for this advanced copy of Heartbreaker, which I got by Sarah McLean. It is part of the Hell's Bells series. It is book number 2 in Hell's Bells. I never really thought I've never really read a mass market romance, like with the bodice ripper looking cover, until Bombshell, because I heard Christina Lauren talk about it, that they loved it, so I picked it up and that was great. This is better. This follows Adelaide as she's, so Adelaide is the daughter of a crime lord in South London in the 1800s, and she escapes him and joins the group that becomes known as the Hell's Bells. And she uses her skills to help take down powerful bad men. And that's what their group does. So it is strong, feisty women. As you can see on the cover, Adelaide is a redhead, and Sarah captured the redheaded energy so well. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I feel like if I was a crime lord's daughter in the 1800s, I would definitely be like this. This felt accurate to the redheaded spirits, at least in my experience. It is very steamy, and just the sass level, I just love it so much. So 5 stars for Heartbreaker by Sarah McLean. I also listened to the audiobook for Katie Couric's memoir called Going There. I actually started this back in January and kind of forgot about it, and then was able to get it back from the library again. It is a memoir that follows her life and her journalism career, and through a lot of big stories and high moments, low moments, her husband's cancer battle, the Matt Lauer, bad drama. I recommend the audiobook because A, you get to hear, she does read it, you get to hear her, but also because they use audio from the broadcasts for some of the moments that she talks about. So that just gives it an extra layer that you don't normally get with a lot of audiobooks. So I enjoyed it overall. It did drag a bit. There's like 99 or 100 chapters, something like that. So it felt a little bit long, a little bit excessive, but overall it was a good read. Now, there was one from my TBR list that I did not get to. Zodiac Academy. I know I'm disappointing a lot of you. I'm sorry. I didn't have time to get to it, and I kept forgetting to take it with me. So yeah, I did not get to this. There's potential that it could roll over into the next round of the Hype TBR game, because that is one of the punishment cards, or overhyped cards. So we'll see. I do want to read this, especially since I'm doing the A to Z challenge in a year, and there's a Z right there for me. But yeah, so I'm sorry to those of you who love Zodiac Academy. I'll try again eventually. Thanks for hanging out with me for this August Reads wrap-up video. I hope my opinions maybe helped you pick out your next read, maybe get you excited about a book that you were thinking about picking up. Whatever it is, let me know in the comments what you thought of some of these books. If you've read them, if you want to read them, let me know. Drop some comments. Also, don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, and hit that subscribe button. It really helps with the YouTube algorithms and all that jazz. But until next time, thank you for watching.